How do you feel our school district currently stacks up to your definition of excellence in education?
Well, I believe that's the goal. That's the mission of any school, particularly Faribault Public Schools, is to give their learners, our learners, the best opportunities, the best delivery of instruction, the best curriculum possible to meet their learning style, their needs, their abilities to continue to watch them grow. Where our good education constantly monitors and adjusts the delivery systems and curriculum to fit learner needs, and overall I think the district's doing a really fine job.
I think that people are working really hard in the district. They're working tirelessly to provide excellent educational programs. But I also think that we still have more work to do to stack up to my description of excellence in education. I see in my personal experience every day, whether it's at Roosevelt or at Kids World or this summer at Camp Invention, in the newspaper last week describing the stories of those fantastic kids who thrived in our EL programs in the public schools. I see every day people working really hard to try to stack up to our definitions of excellence in education. But there's still more we can do, and given that we're facing such significant budgetary constraints in this district, it's sometimes hard to meet those needs. I think we have to keep striving for that. Unfortunately, I also think there's some erosion of pride and confidence in the schools that we have to address, and that suggests that some people in our community, might not believe that our schools are stacking up to their definition of excellence. Oftentimes I hear this conversation around the middle school, for example, and the district has worked to develop new positive behavior interventions and strategies approach and look for ways to improve. So we're not there yet, but excellence in education is always an ideal that we should be striving towards, and we have to be committed to constantly working towards that goal.
In some areas, it is doing very well. Just yesterday, there was an article in the Faribault paper about the 9th grade academy. I was glad to see a program like that instituted, because it is sometimes a real struggle to make that change from 8th grade to 9th grade. I think what needs to be added to it, though, is that instead of waiting until the student is in 9th grade to start the screening process in the latter half of the 8th grade student's year. And that would give them a jump start when they hit 9th grade.
Right now, in my opinion, I don't think our district is doing that well. We just got the results back in reading and math. They are dropping way below the state average, and we need to do something to increase that. I might be suggesting a couple ideas at the next board meeting of how to address that, but we must do something to increase our reading and math scores so that the community, along with any future businesses, can read that saying, hey, we've done something better, and why don't we move into this community?
As far as student engagement, there's an old saying that says, when kids don't care what you know until they know that you care. I believe it's incumbent on Faribault and its staff to make sure that students build relationships with staff so they can be mentored and programs can be provided that suit their needs and their passions. I don't think that we're looking at best needs for all students at each time we consider policy and practice. One of my own pet peeves is I don't believe middle school students should have cell phone access. In today's world, that level of addiction creates the kind of disruption that isn't needed. We also need to focus on instruction and staffing, especially around staff development. Those teachers who don't know how to use modern practices of active learning in their lessons need to go through levels of training that help them to accomplish that. In today's world, lecturing and worksheets is no longer acceptable. And most importantly, we need visionary and innovative leadership. This is the area that I think we need the most help with in Faribault. Unfortunately, in the last years, the top administration in Faribault has been the area of highest need. We fortunately have a new business administrator that is highly capable and I am assured will maintain adequate and accurate records. We also have a new director of learning and teaching who is doing a great job. We need a superintendent and school board, though, that knows how to build vision and creative and innovative programs that will better suit the needs of our students.
You know, it's a hard thing because the general public has a perception, and I'd love to change the perception. That's one of the reasons I was a big in favor of hiring a communications director, and that's getting the success stories out there and trying to change the narrative a bit. How do we stack up? We can certainly improve, but you know what? Last year we had a junior score a perfect ACT. Now, that junior is tremendously talented. However, I do believe that Faribault Public Schools played a part in that. Every year we have a number of students get full ride free education to four-year schools, to two-year schools. I think we play a big part in that. I have 3 kids in the district. I'm extremely proud of what they're doing, what they're involved in, and who their friends are. And so I think there's certainly things that we can get better. We should always be striving to do better. But for the most part, I think we're doing well and continue to look forward to us trying to get better every day.